There are five strategic moves that professional Black women should be taking right now in order to prepare for what's next in terms of our finances, our careers, our business, our purpose. And these five strategic steps that professional Black women should be taking are practical and they're rooted in real world experience because I'm doing them for myself right now and I'm experiencing results. Like as of 2 hours ago. And these five strategic steps for professional Black women are designed to help us position ourselves for whatever we decide is next for us. Whether you're in survival mode because you're one of the 300,000 Black women who were ejected from the workforce in 2025. Maybe you still have your corporate position, but baby, you stay side-eyeing corporate's emails because you don't know what's coming next. Or maybe you do. This is even for you if you're ready to take that leap into entrepreneurship, or maybe you're already a founder, a creator, or freelancer, or maybe your back is against the wall and entrepreneurship is the only option left. Wherever you are and wherever you want to go, these five steps are for you and for me. Get ready to take notes and to take action because the first thing we're going to do is pause, pray, and find our peace. The second thing we're going to do is strengthen our community and begin to collaborate. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to get our resume all the way together. The fourth thing we're going to do is to start creating career focused content and build our professional brand. And the fifth thing we're going to do is fast track our personal brand by writing a book. Timestamps are down in the description below so that you can navigate to the strategic step you want to dig into first. But I hope you listen to the entire video for full context. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, I'm Denise Renee. I'm a business book writing coach and manuscript editor. This is my signature book, and these are some of the clients that I've worked with. I specialize in helping Gen X and millennial professionals write books that make their thought leadership brand visible. So trust and believe. Any advice that I give, it's always going to come back in some way, shape, or form to me recommending and suggesting that we write a book because I'm also known as your business book bestie. And with me around, you do not have to worry that writing a book is going to take forever. Neither does it have to be 1,000 pages long, and it doesn't have to be scary. But we'll get into that when we talk about strategy number 5. But you might be thinking, girl, you got your own business. What right do you have to talk about Black women in the workspace? Because I am one. Because I do have a full-time job alongside growing my brand and business. In fact, earlier this year, I had 2 jobs. But if you're following the trends, one day I was working as a subcontractor for one of the biggest tech companies out there. And the next day, the contract ended. Meanwhile, on the job that I do have left, I was in a meeting just today. Basically, reading between the lines, my manager didn't say these words, but basically they were like, y'all better get your metrics up or get ready to be cut. It is real out here in these employment streets. I'm 51 years young, and I started my career in the educational space back in 1996. My experiences have woven me through educational spaces, corporate spaces, and even entrepreneurial spaces. There have been times where I was 100% self-employed. So I've seen a lot of things. I saw Y2K and the dot-com bubble. I saw the 2008 debacle. Of course, we've all lived through the vid that shall not be named. And now we're here, but things feel very different. With 300,000 Black women and more having been ejected from the workforce in 2025, it feels intentional. But in the midst of the craziness and chaos, I can't help but wonder or think, maybe this is the blessing in disguise that we needed. Because I don't know about you, but I know for me, unless something disastrous happens, sometimes I could find myself staying in a situation way longer than I should. It could have stopped serving me eons ago, but I'm just holding on to it because it's familiar and it's what I know. But meanwhile, we've been living in mess. We've been living, working, and existing in toxic spaces and environments. And that's why the very first thing that I did and have been doing and I'm recommending we all do, is to pause, pray, and find our peace. And I shared this in a video on my book writing channel back in August, and it bears repeating here. As Black women, we are so used to having the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we go and go and go and go because we have to. With so many responsibilities, and it's almost like a trauma response because we feel like if we stop, our world is going to fall apart. But that is a lie from the pit of you know where. So it's okay to pause. It's okay to pray, and it is okay to find peace, especially as women. I have to tell you that over these last couple of years, I have really been leaning more and more into understanding myself as a woman and understanding the ways of working and existing that work best for me instead of trying to mimic the way that men move and do their thing. I can't do them. I can't be them. I am not them. I have to do things in a way where it literally works with my biology and my psychology. I have bursts of time where, boom, I'm all in and I'm just like, go, 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 go. But that's a sprint. And after that, I need to pull back and rest. And I need those cycles. And guess what? Our literal cycles follow that pattern. If you've never followed the work of Dr. Mindy Peltz, she has this book called Fast Like a Girl. And before she even gets into the whole, intermittent fasting of it all, she really talks about women's cycles. And this is a great book, even if you're not looking into getting into fasting, but it's a great book for women, for older millennial and Gen X women who are perimenopausal. Okay, because she breaks down so many things about our cycle that I'm just like, where have you been all my life? Why did we not know this information before? So I strongly 10 out of 10 recommend her work and recommend getting your hands on this book and just understanding how we function biologically. And when I learned that, I was like, well, that's why I have these particular ebbs and flows that I do. And so it's so important for me to be able to work in the ways that I know work for me. And I need times of rest. I need times of pause. I need times of peace. We need it. And it's okay. And in that pause, in that rest, in that peace, that's where we get, or at least for me, that's where I get direction. Because I'm starting to do things now that I wouldn't even thought of months ago, but they came to me in a time and period of pausing, of praying, of being at peace. The second strategic step that Black professional women need to be taking is something that may feel counterintuitive, or at least countercultural, because society just constantly pits women against each other. And especially when it comes to Black women, it's like only one of us can be in a space. Who said that? Wasn't us. Okay. It wasn't us. And it's simply not true. Now more than ever, we need to lean into community. We need to collaborate with each other. And when we get into spaces, we need to hold the door open for someone who's coming behind us. We need to recommend our sisters. Everybody else has nepotism. Everybody else brings their friends along, and we need to do the same because nobody is looking out for us unless we look out for us right about now. I have to tell you that the last two jobs that I've gotten were not because I was submitting all of these resumes. I mean, I was submitting all of these resumes. I got maybe, I think, 2 or 3 interviews out of that whole process. But the jobs that I landed were because of telling everybody in my personal network what I was looking for. And this was recent. This was 2023 and 2024. The job I have today and the job that the contract disappeared back in April, they came because I was networking. They came from my community. They came because I was telling everybody I was looking for a work from home job. And people said, hey, talk to this person. Hey, talk to that person. Hey, where I'm working at is still hiring. Get your application in the ring. And if we're in creative spaces, such as content creation, it's time for us to bring our platforms together. In 2024, I started a podcast where I was interviewing other people. I put it on pause for 2025 and I plan on resuming it in 2026. But nevertheless, recently I've just been really re-inspired to start just having different people onto my platform. So you will see here on this channel a re-upload of something I did on my writing channel. Didn't perform very well there, but I think it's going to perform very well here because I'm making this platform all about careers, growing your personal brand, and Black women supporting each other in these spaces. So look out for that video next. But collaborate. Who's in your space? Reach across the aisle. I'm like literally seeing people come across my feed on my YouTube feed, and I'm reaching out like, hey, I'm having this conversation. Would you like to come on camera and talk with me about it? And these conversations have been so invigorating. We are only going to be stronger together. The more we connect, the more we collaborate, the more we share what we need and share resources amongst each other, because no one is going to do it for us. The third strategic step that professional Black women need to be doing right now is getting that resume all the way together. But we're not just going to take the resume and pray and spray and send it everywhere. We're going to be very strategic about this. Now, it's very important that you know, I started my freelance writing career back in 2014 doing resumes for people. I used to work in recruiting for a little while, and I found out that I had a real talent for creating resumes that actually made our clients extend an interview to the candidates that we pre-screened for them. So your girl knows what she's talking about. But don't just try to make one resume that fits, 500 different jobs. You're going to create resumes and slightly different variations of your resume for your dream job. And you're only going to submit your resumes to the companies and the positions that you really want to go after. I promise you, this is a very different approach that I'm taking than the last time that I was job hunting. I was just putting my resume everywhere, and that doesn't really work. Like I already told you the results that I got, but now I'm looking because I'm always looking, and I'm being very strategic about what do I really want? What is the type of environment that I want to be in? What's the type of work that I would do in a corporate environment? And it's not so much that I think I'm going to get a corporate job. I'm not sure. I'm really just trying to position myself for any eventuality. And if something should pop up, baby, I want my resume ready to go. As they say, stay ready and you ain't got to get ready, right? So I'm thinking about what are the dream positions, and I'm not even submitting through LinkedIn or submitting through Indeed. I'm going, if I find a position, I'm applying directly on their website, because just trying to easy apply through LinkedIn or easy apply through Indeed, that's not going to cut it. That's not getting you noticed. You have a better shot of directly going into that company's applicant tracking system when you apply directly to them. You at least know somebody back there is taking a look and at least seeing what's going on. As opposed to who knows if they're monitoring the company inbox on their LinkedIn profile or their Indeed inbox. Ain't nobody got time for that. The way to use LinkedIn then is to then circle back and see if you can find people in the company through your LinkedIn connections. Sometimes your second and third connections are right there for the cherry picking. So find a personal connection, get with them on LinkedIn, and see if you can get a human's eyeballs on your application. That's just the way you need to do it. Now, if you haven't updated your resume since quiet quitting a couple of years ago, I have a free resource that I can share with you, links to a couple of private articles and private videos on this channel from like 2016, 2017. So if you want to get a hold of that list and get some of those resume tips from me, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/writing with Denise Renee. The link is down in the description box of this video. Send me a DM and I will send you a link to my free resume resources. I got you, boo. Now, number 4 might ruffle some feathers. But strategic step number 4 that Black professional women need to be taking right now is to begin creating career-focused content and become intentional about building your personal professional brand. Now, we all have some sort of social media profiles on all of the different platforms. So we're not new to using social media, but you may have personal profiles. You know, you like a little bit of ratchet content. You be following the Shade Room, Campire. I know I love Lovely Tea. So, I follow what's going on and everything like that. But that's on my personal profile. My public facing, business facing profiles are very different. If you have a side hustle or you have a brand that you're working on, you want to have profiles, of course, under those names. But you should also have one just under your own name as a professional and be creating content that surrounds your job or surrounds your industry. Even if that's not a job that you love, even if it's not an industry that you're going to remain in forever, there's so many principles that you learn by creating professional and career type of content that you just cannot get anywhere else. And creating this type of content is also going to help to raise your profile so that recruiters are able to find you. Hiring managers at companies are able to find you, or at least when you're submitting that resume and they go back to your X profile or your LinkedIn profile, because those are pretty much the professional spaces to be on. They want to see that you are professional, you have some thought leadership, and you have something to contribute. Your LinkedIn profile should not just be a duplicate copy of your resume. It should show you as a real human with real thoughts who's able to take a position on things, and you're able to bring value to your industry as a whole and to the company in particular that you work with. It could be as simple as engaging in comments, because on LinkedIn, people can see what types of posts you have commented on and what you said. Add to conversations, create posts that generate conversations. And at this point, there's no need to worry about, oh, well, what if my employer sees what I'm doing? Trust me, they are looking for your replacement on X. They are looking for your replacement on LinkedIn. Okay? So don't worry about them. Worry about the recruiter who's looking for you. A few months ago, I posted a video on this channel and I was talking about Loren Lorosa, the newest person who was hired onto the Breakfast Club. And I said, we should all be like her because this young lady is so stinking smart. I'm just like, chef's kiss. She is building her brand right alongside her job. Okay. She is getting paid to build her brand. I released that video just when they had announced that she was starting a podcast. The first couple of episodes of the podcast were very humble. Man, in just a few months, she has just been blowing it up. The set has been upgraded. I mean, she's doing the thing. And that's just what it is nowadays. You think she doesn't have eyeballs on her? She sure does. I'm sure she's probably feeling opportunities left and right to do different things. Now, very likely she's in a contract right now. So I don't expect that she's just gonna, jump ship, but who knows how long her contract is. And as she is building this podcast, man, I just can't wait to see where she is in 2 years' time. Promise. What could you do in 2 years' time? Now, I've learned in my content journey that it isn't always about getting a whole lot of comments and likes and blowing up and going viral, but it's when people come back to my profile and they look and they see, number one, how long I've been creating content. Number two, the depth of content that I've created and the actual tips and tricks and strategies that I'm actually sharing. People are always impressed. And it's usually that thing that kind of tips people over the top when they're deciding to work with me. Sidebar. If you want to see what they're talking about, head over to my other YouTube channel at Writing with Denise Renee. Okay. Go ahead on over there and check that out. But this is what we need to be doing. And if you haven't been doing it, if you've just been creating content, showing us what you had for lunch yesterday, your last vacation, or you're just on your burner account, those things are fine and they're fun, but it's time to raise your professional profile. And this works whether you are in a traditional 9 to 5 job, whether you're growing your own personal business brand, or you're like me, you're hybrid. The nice thing about what I do things under my brand name, but it all feeds into what I do as a writer, as an editor, and as an educational content creator. This is all demonstrating so many different skills in one profile. It is time to stop overthinking it and time to start doing it. Yes, I know there may be some concerns, but there are going to be more upsides than not. And then strategy number 5 that Black professional women should be doing is fast tracking that professional brand by writing a book. So I'm going to tell you one thing. Creating content has its challenges, right? We all want to have lots of views on our videos and lots of comments and things like that, but it can be very hard to get that going just getting started. But you know what cuts through the noise like a knife? A book. Can you imagine getting a DM in your LinkedIn inbox from a recruiter who says, I saw your book on XYZ topic and we wanted to know if you were interested in a position with us. Or the HR person says, we're looking for a consultant on this topic. This is the power of what writing a book can do for your career. I know people are used to seeing, CEOs and vice presidents of this company and that company write books. They're used to seeing founders of startups write books. They're used to seeing entrepreneurs who have their own business and speakers and freelancers write books. But writing books is for the employee too. No matter where you are, a book can enhance what it is that you're looking to do professionally for your personal brand as a creative or a content creator, a freelancer, a company founder, no matter who you are or what you do. Writing a book is instant authority building. Just having a link on your profile to your book on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles or even on your own website. Even if people don't buy it, they're instantly impressed. But for those who do buy it, for those who are helped, it's impactful for you. Writing a book can help you attract new job opportunities, can help you attract and win contracts as a freelancer, as a contractor. It can help you get media opportunities. It definitely helps you land speaking opportunities at conferences. I mean, a few years ago, I was trying to apply to different things, and the question that they all ask is, do you have a book? And I was like, okay, never mind. I'll come back when I got a book, child. Now I can apply to those things. There is a statistic that says that most independent books don't sell more than 250 copies. Now you can look at that and say, well, what's the point of writing a book if I'm not going to sell that many copies and I'm not going to make that much money off the sales of the book because I only sold 100 copies? I want to invite you to think of that differently. What if those 100 books went into the hands of 100 of the right people? They went into the hands of decision makers at companies that you would love to work at or who would love to throw a pile of money to have you consult at. What if your book went into the hands of 100 people who could turn around and become your first coaching clients? How much is your coaching program? Even if you were offering a $1,000 coaching session and you had 5 people from your book sign up, that's $5,000. And that could be the start of a new stream of income for you. So don't look at the sales of the book as the only metric for success. It's really about getting it into the hands of the right people. Before you can get it into the hands of the right people, you have to understand your audience, know what is the right topic that they want to hear about and that they would actually spend money on. And it has to be something that once you're able to help them with that, they're going to want to look to you to continue their growth journey. So you have to think about what is it that you are able to help people with? What is the solution that you provide? You want to also pick the right framework for your book, get your ideas out, organize them, create an outline for the book, establish your writing schedule, and get to writing your book. Now, if all of that seems a little bit overwhelming or like I went a little too fast through each of those steps, no worries. As your business book bestie, I got you. I put this all together for you in my resource that I call 4 Steps to Start Writing Your Book. I walk you through each of those questions so that beginning to write your book is as easy as filling in the blanks in the workbook that comes along with it. So head over to writingwithdeniserenee.com/4 steps to get your copy and to get started writing a book that's going to change your life and career today. And I want to say that the steps and strategies that I laid out here These are things that you want to continuously do on a continual basis. Some of the things that you do could potentially yield instant results or results really quickly, especially number two, collaborating, networking, talking to people and letting them know who you are, what you do, what you're looking for in your next position or opportunity or new clients. That is the fastest path to getting something shaking, especially if you don't have any income coming in right now or you need to increase your income. But everything else, continue to work on because the effects are going to compound over time. And sometimes, especially when you're creating content, it could feel like it's crickets. Where's my content going? Where is my audience even growing? But trust me, more people are watching you than you think. So I hope that this video was helpful, was practical. One of the best things you can do is share this with a woman who you know needs to hear it. Let me know what questions you have down in the comments. And if you want to make sure that you never miss any new content from me, I encourage you to head over to my website at writingwithdeniserenee.com. Scroll down to the bottom, pop in your email because I send out an encouraging email every Monday morning along with links to content that I recently posted. Even though it feels like literally the world is against us, there are people who are looking for you and looking for me. They're looking for our skills. They're looking for our flavor. They're looking for what we have to offer. And you have to believe that. And if you don't believe that, then I recommend watching this video next and let me help you build your confidence up. Click on that video right now, and I'll see you on the other side.